What's up, everybody? It's your boys Jen and Juice back at it again. And today we wanted to talk about the next sets to be on the lookout for and potentially invest in when it comes to the Wizard of the Coast and that vintage product.
Yes.
Now, to start it off, I want to just mention the Neo series, but I know you mentioned a few others.
I think sets that are underlooked are like Base Set 2, maybe Legendary Collections, Aquapolis, Sky Ridge.
Okay.
Yeah, all of the rest of the sets right now in WOTC, I think.
And everybody
are places
is
that people need to be looking into.
right. The hype is solely around the base set boxes.
And the first printings of
Yep.
like Team Rocket, Jungle, and Fossil.
The first
and
editions, yeah.
Those prices, we've seen meteoric rises, and that's where everyone's attention is.
It's crazy because that's where all of our youth came from, right? So like when we first started opening up Pokemon cards as kids, it was all about base set, Team Rocket, Jungle, and Fossil. That's, if you look even on our channel, if you look at all our videos, the two or three sets that we open up the most: base set, Fossil, Team Rocket.
Yep.
Base set, Team Rocket, Fossil, however order you want to put it in, it's there. We open up a lot of it, and that's what we connect with the most. I mean, one of my favorite sets of all time is Team Rocket. Jungle is up there, but Jungle's just a little bit more harder to get a hold of. It feels like, even though that's part of the rotation set, right?
Yeah. But then when things moved over to Gen 2, a lot of people had stopped collecting at that point. So, those would probably be like the Neo series and things like that.
It brought in a different generation. I mean, the first wave, the hype wave of Pokemon came with Gen 1, the popularity of that. But going into like 2002, it kind of dipped a little bit, and that's really when that Neo and the second series really came out in the U.S. The game was pretty popular still, but you didn't see a huge. There was more people probably leaving at the time than coming in. But the people that stayed there, those were like the loyalists, right? They are super loyal to the Neo set, and it's growing on me a lot. I know individuals like Rhyme Style, his favorite set is Neo Genesis, and he has a big connection with, Pokemon Gold and Silver, especially Silver with Lugia, and it might be a generation thing. I'm in my 30s. And, I grew up with the base set, and then as I was going into high school around 2002, 2003, that's when I really stopped.
Right.
I mean, life changes, right? So then, the Pokemon popularity kind of dipped off for me at that point. But now those sets are coming up quickly. I mean, you
can see even like a couple weeks ago, Z&G did his monthly report, and, there were astronomical increases in the base set, the Jungle, the Team Rocket. But when you looked at the Neo series, I mean, there's a lot of cards that are low pop,
extremely low pop,
haven't moved in value as much. The Discoveries, the Destinies, the Revelations. Even if you look on eBay, you don't really see a lot of those products popping up for sale, or even the graded cards coming up for sale either.
It's very rare. I mean, you got, for the Neo Genesis, just take a look at the two home run cards in that set: T17 Typhlosion and the Lugia. I mean, that card is known for getting 9s or less. It's very rare to pull a 10. So when you see a 10 come on the market, you're like, holy smokes. Both those cards are nearly pushing 20 grand, if not more, for the Lugia, and I'm sure the T17 is right behind it. Heck, right before the boom, Rusty bought the T17 for 10 grand.
Yeah.
So now with the Pokemon boom, and this only being the past few months, I mean, you're looking at prices probably closer to 20 plus grand, and it's absolutely insane for a card like that. But you mentioned pop reports. Neo Discovery has a ton of cards that are super low in the pop report.
I'm talking under 20?
Yeah, under 20. Revelation, under 20. Under pop 20 for the hollows, not under 20 cards, but under pop 20. So, I mean, if you start opening those sets and cracking them, 10s are non-existent. And it's not like people are not grading them. People are grading them and getting a lot of 9s. 10s, though, those are going to start being the chase cards: the Yamas, the Houndoom, the Espeon, Umbreon, the 3 Beast, the Ho-Oh. I mean, cross over those sets, and then you have, the two big sets, Neo Genesis and Neo Destiny. And Neo Destiny, I mean, they're shiny cards.
Yeah.
Since there's so many shiny cards in that set, and that particular set, it's very hard to pull the one you want, and everybody wants the big boy, the Charizard. And then, you know, looking at it, you're talking about Aquapolis, Skyridge, and Expedition, the e-reader set. Those are super limited print quality, super limited, because that's right around the time with Skyridge being the last set Wizard of the Coast ever printed. So that means those print runs were never heavy allocated anyway, because Pokemon at that time was seeing a slow, like that there was obviously conversations with the licensing agreement from Pokemon going away. You talked about when Neo came around, people were getting out of it. Well, those people that were in Neo were getting out of it around at that time too. So it really lost around that 2003 to 2005 area with Pokemon. Obviously, that's when Pokemon stopped with Wizard of the Coast and started making their own. And right around the time in those 2-year spans when they left and started doing their own, the print qualities were super low, or the print volume was super low. The sets just didn't do well, and it's very hard to find those sets around that time frame.
I think even looking beyond that to even looking into the Nintendo era's EX series, I mean, those were not heavily printed, and you know, Nintendo didn't do so successfully with those E-series. And if you look now, I mean, you can barely find any of those E-series cards, EX series cards there, like Team Rocket Returns, you know,
the Team Rocket Returns, the Holland Phantoms,
Dragons Frontiers, Dragons. I mean, those sets, Deoxys, those sets are just so coveted because, again, Nintendo didn't do so successfully with those series, and those were very short printed, and
Gold Stars are harder. The hardest rarity to pull in all the Pokemon, I would have to say, is Gold Star. 100% Gold Star. And it's just the chase of doing that. And now the chase is tough because it's getting so expensive. And you have us, again, we've mentioned it multiple times. We're never perfect by any means, and we know we play a role in, some of the things. But look at us. We opened up last week. We opened up $7,000 worth of Pokemon product. Every time we open up something increases. So I mean, if
it's just one less that's there.
If we want to do the chase, I mean, we're part of the problem, I guess. But that's not going to stop us, though. We're going to find our means and ways to do it. But it's crazy that, now they're becoming a real chase, because if you do find them, it's like finding gold. It's like your time and effort and investment is finally paying off, and you're finding this card, and it means so much now, pulling those cards.
And then with evolutions, too, you kind of got to be careful, because I noticed that the prices for the evolutions boxes are just skyrocketing like crazy.
$500 for an evolution. X and Y 2016 booster box of evolutions, which is a reprint of base set, is selling for $500.
And I think a lot of people are getting a little bit of a confusion between the base set and it translating over into the evolutions, and everyone is expecting to see the same WOTC meteoric rise in the modern stuff. And we usually tell people to be careful when investing in modern, because we've seen it with Lost Thunder, Ultra Prism, Unbroken Bonds, Burning Shadows, that there is a potential of a chance for a reprint, because Evolutions was a set that was printed for 5 years before we even got the last call, and who knows how much product is out there sitting there. Even talked to a card shop. James was saying that there could be distributors sitting on pallets of this stuff, and if they just release it out.
Evolutions is the most printed Pokemon set ever. You could still go to Walmart and find them in tins, packages.
So think about it. If they're still in those kinds of products, what stops them from just gathering all of those and then reprinting them in booster boxes and then just cleaning out the inventory that way?
It's absolutely insane.
So whenever we talk about this stuff, we want people to try to always separate the vintage, which is the WOTC era and the early Nintendo stuff, versus the modern stuff, which is the XY, the Pokemon Company stuff. Pokemon Company stuff, So it's you just have to be careful when you're looking at products. You might say base set is so expensive, but Evolutions is not so expensive, so let me just stock up on a whole bunch of Evolutions. It might be a good investment in the future, but you don't know, and you have to literally sit on those for buy it now and sit on it, and like the diamond and pearl era, you have to wait that long, or the black and white era, XY era.
Exactly. Boy, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. With that being said, I think sets that are coming out that you look after for, you mentioned it, the Gym Challenge. So the rest of the
Gym series.
First Gen 1 Gym Series boxes, they're already going up in price. I think a first edition Gym Challenge box is approaching $20,000 right now. And then you have the Neo sets right after that. So I think Skyridge will have its day. I think there's a lot of individuals. I heard that a lot of people didn't like what the Skyridge Charizard looked like, and I just couldn't understand that fully. But
they'll get there. They'll come around to it. Trust me, it's a Charizard. They'll come around.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. If you have WOTC product, it's best to sit on it right now. Or, if you're looking to sell it, great, but I wouldn't open anything.
If you're looking to invest, I would start looking into the remaining series, and see if you can find good deals at your local card shop. Look at the other WOTC stuff. If you can find some deals, make it, keep it, track the data, and
it's definitely a wave. Obviously, people are going to spread out and see the other WOTC sets, but think about it as the year that they came out. Obviously, base set, Fossil, Jungle, and Team Rocket are on fire right now. The next logical piece is going to be the Gym Challenge area, the Gym Heroes stuff, and then going into base set 2, which I'm surprised hasn't been open more since it's a legit reprint of like 2 sets from that era, Jungle.
Right now, everyone has tunnel vision like Fig does when we play Among Us. Always assumes it's juice. But, they got that tunnel vision on the base set and the few sets around it. But eventually, people will start to look outside. So if you can scoop up what you can at good price, even if certain cards that you think are good, maybe a little bit under what retail is, it's always a good pickup, because you got to think about the future value, not just, I should have bought this when it was $120, but now it's $300 and retail is $400. Okay, you buy it now at $300, but in a month or two it could be $450, $500, and you missed out on the $120, but you're still making some at $300. So don't get too caught up on that. Sometimes just investing in now, and then hoping for the future, judging by the trends.
Could be good. Do your homework.
Do your homework. Always do your homework. And obviously, we are not financial advisors or anything like that. But the thing is, due diligence in anything you do is always important.
Great. All right. With that being said, we'll talk to you soon. Deuces, dabs.